Hey guys, a few of you have been asking for a Q&A, so here it is. Thank you, by the way, for asking, because they're very good questions. First question, very good question, okay? Who should be the next captain of the Leafs? Very good question. Okay, he says easy answer is obviously Matthews, but I think I'd go with Morgan. Okay, let me think. So here's the process I go through in my mind to get to this answer. I agree that Riley is a good prospect. He looks like he's going to be here for a while. He's good, and he's a good leader. And yeah, Matthews is the obvious answer to this because he's going to probably be here his entire career unless we pull a move like the Oilers did and trade him to LA. I don't even like the Oilers, and I'm still sad about that. I wasn't even alive. What I'm saying is, okay, here's what I don't want. I don't want somebody being named captain and then being traded 2 years later. If we are going to name a captain, he needs to be here for a while. I've heard Tyler Bozak's name thrown around. I've heard Nazem Kadri. All of these guys are very good options. Another thing I wouldn't want, though, is a really young captain. So if it were up to me, I'd have Matthews either be the captain in 2 years, I'd have Kadri be the captain this year, or I'd have Riley be the captain next year. So you know, we got some options here. They're all good in my opinion, although I would like to have a Matthews jersey with a C on it. That was a very good question. And let me know, what do you guys think? Who should be the next captain? I'm actually really interested to see who you guys would pick. So that was very good, thank you. Okay, so the next question is, do you plan on making Toronto FC related videos by any chance? And loving the videos, by the way, keep it up. Thank you very much. I know I shouldn't I? I really should be making those videos. But here's the thing. Let me tell you a little something about how I work my channel. I'm not here to pretend I like all sports equally or all teams equally. I like certain sports more than others and certain teams more than others. But because I enjoy talking about sports in general, I name myself the sports girl, doesn't mean that every single sport is my favorite sport. That's not to say that I don't like Toronto FC, I do. But I think I can only be hardcore about so many sports before it becomes like consuming. Due to conflicting schedules, one team being on the same night another team's on, or just how long the games actually are. So for me, it's a matter of priorities. Let me give you a little bit of a backstory. Hockey was the first sport I started watching, and so I feel the strongest connection to the Leafs. Also, up until a few years ago, I didn't even like any other sport. Baseball? Boring. Basketball? Boring. Football? Just stupid. It took me a while, but I did start getting into these other Toronto teams. But my number one will always be the Leafs. So the Leafs are my number one, so whatever's happening with them, if there's a game on, whatever, I'm watching them first. Actually, the playoffs take presidency. If the Leafs are in the playoffs, I'll be watching them instead of like the beginning of the Jays season. If the Jays are in the playoffs, I'll be watching them instead of the beginning of the Leafs season. And the Jays are probably my second favorite team because they don't conflict their schedule with the Leafs. In the winter, I find it hard to watch both Leafs and Raptors. So to add soccer and football into the mix, I just don't think I have the mental or any capability, really. I don't think I have the time in a day to watch it. But of course, I follow the teams that I can't watch, but I don't really feel right about giving an in-depth video about them. So long answer short, no, I don't think I'll make too many videos about them unless there's something really exciting going on or they make it to like the end of the playoffs. To this day, the only sport I haven't really picked up on is football. I don't know why, I just can't get into it. I like Gaelic football more than I like football. But who knows, maybe it'll change in the future just like it did with these other sports, but for right now, that's the only sport I don't really like. I like playing it, I like playing it, I just don't like watching it. I don't know what it is. Thank you for that question. And for the next question, who do you think is the biggest game changer in their respective leagues to ever play for a Toronto team? This is a really good question. And I had to think about it. I didn't have to think about it too long, but I enjoyed thinking about it. Okay, I'm ready. So this is my opinion. I'm not giving you facts, although they could be used as facts, but I'm not giving you facts. I'm giving you my opinion, so if you don't agree with me, that's totally fine. Let me know who your idea of a game changer is, okay? So here it goes. For the Leafs, I honest to God think it's Austin Matthews. It doesn't necessarily have to be him, it's just like the time, the people around him, like the era of Austin Matthews. I think it has been and it will be the biggest game changer in Leafs history. Because we can go back to when they were winning cups and stuff. That could be their biggest game changer when they got some guy who's winning a cup. But let me tell you, okay? No one has ever had 50 years of not winning a cup. Like winning and then not winning a cup. So I think that if we can win a cup within the next like 3 or 4 years, then this is going to be like the biggest turnaround ever in like the history of anything. I'm not saying the best player we've had, although he could very well be. I'm not saying like the most cups we've won with this guy. I'm saying that the biggest game changer, as in like from terrible to amazing. Do you remember the season before last? There were fans throwing their jerseys on the ice. There was a whole controversy with the team. And then all of a sudden, Austin Matthews comes and it's like we're basking in the glory of being in the playoffs. For the Jays, I personally see it as Joe Carter and Roberto Alomar. I don't know if you want to pick one particular guy or if you want to pick a series of events like when that huge trade happened. I just think that anything having to do with them Boom, game changer. And for the Raptors, I would say that there hasn't been, in my mind, there hasn't been a huge game changer, because if you haven't won anything, it hasn't been changed enough. So it has to be changed more, but obviously I'm gonna go with Vince Carter. These are people, but they also represent the situations they're in. Like, it's not gonna work with Austin Matthews just coming on a shit team like we had 3 years ago. It's gonna work when you have all these rookies clicking and Babcock and Shanahan. Next question is from More Derek, by the way. I love the new name. He says, how would you feel about a Jets-Leafs Stanley Cup final? How would I feel about that? I'll tell you what I think. I think it would be frigging awesome. Because if Toronto wins, we get a cup, break the curse, everybody's in freaking jubilation, we go to friggin' parades every day, it'd be amazing. But if Winnipeg wins, it's like, oh man, that's good for them. They never won a cup. I can appreciate that, you know? I think it would be a very, very good rivalry, because Matthews, Laine, I think it would be great. Let's just leave it at that. I'm already getting way too excited. You guys are just really good at asking questions, okay? So next one here. Who is your favorite current and favorite past Blue Jay player? That's a great question. Let's start with current. I have a hard time picking favorites usually. I know how much it takes like a team working to make one player look good. And obviously my favorite changes from time to time, and I just sometimes have no favorites and I just really enjoy everyone for as they are. But I've always respected back catchers, like how they literally have the game in their hands. Because they got a mitt, right? Get it? Okay. So my favorite current Jays player right now would have to be Russell Martin, and he just so happens to be Canadian. And my favorite past Jays player would probably be Roberto Alomar, for obvious reasons. And that is all. I hope you guys kind of satisfied your need for a Q&A. If you guys are interested, I will be posting a Sports Talk second episode sometime at the end of this month, probably just talking about the Leaf season, because I am super excited for it right now. So subscribe if you want to see more.